Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mindful of You podcast. This is episode 88, Lessons from Coco. So here we are in October. It's a little bit warmer than I thought it would be, than it usually is, but still embracing fall in full swing, except maybe the wardrobe, because I refuse to sweat just because I want to wear a sweater, even though it is painful to not be wearing sweaters. This is one of my favorite movies to watch during October. I actually haven't had a chance to watch it yet. We've been busy. We've watched some other Halloween movies, which is super fun. But I do think that this is a great October movie, Day of the Dead. And it's just got some great values and tidbits that I wanted to share with you guys. This should be a relatively quick episode. I just have 5 lessons from Coco. So the first lesson we have here is develop your talents. So this is pretty simple, but basically Miguel has a passion for music, but because of things that have happened in his family, some of the members of his family hate music and don't think that he should be performing, learning guitar, singing, all of those things because of what's happened in their family. And they're kind of trying to push him into their family business, which all is understandable. They feel like they're trying to protect him because they think that music will do to him what it did to their grandfather and everything. So it's totally understandable. But I did think it was a good moment to pause and say, if there's something you're passionate about, I think that we should pursue it to some extent, at least. So for me, I was once really passionate about singing and acting and still am. I'm not pursuing it as fully. I'm spending time with other things. But we can even pursue things we're talented at, like in our careers. I feel like I've always been a good listener. I've always been looking at like how the world could be better and everything. So I thought that social work would be a really good place for me. So just take time to acknowledge what you're good at. And it's not something that's like cocky or anything like that. It's just so that you can best serve yourself, your life, and others. Lesson number 2 is know your ancestors. So there's a lot in this movie about ancestry, family, remembering family, and those who came before us. This isn't something I'm necessarily great at. I don't know if I could name any of my great grandparents. I could definitely name my grandparents. But as far as the greats and beyond that go, I'm actually not super familiar with who came before me. I know that on my dad's side, we had some early pioneers. I think Orson Pratt or Parley Pratt or both are in my lineage. And so that's something that's really cool to know that they were a part of the pioneers, first members of the church. And then on my mom's side, I'm really not very familiar with that going far back. But I think that that's something really cool to know and to learn, is who came before you and kind of who made the person that you are today. Lesson number 3 is to remember the good in those you have lost. In this movie, there's a lot of like hard feelings towards the grandfather that was lost because they think that they were abandoned and that music ruined him. And it's hard, I think, when you still have hard feelings towards those who are gone. And so I always think that forgiveness is a good thing, but especially if you have lost someone, if you can try and work to forgive them, try and work to forgive yourself and remember the best parts of those relationships, I think that's a better way to find healing, while we can still acknowledge the things that weren't good and mourn those things and grieve those things. Ultimately, I hope that people remember me for the good I did and not for the bad, because everybody has some of both. And so if we can remember those we've lost with love and with fondness, I think it creates a better memory of them and makes us feel better as well. Lesson number 4 is draw strength from your ancestors. So Miguel obviously learns a lot about his ancestors being in like I guess, what do they call it? I don't know, the underworlds or wherever he is, and the great beyond, maybe? I can't remember what they call it. But he gets to know his ancestors, know the people that came before him, and learns their strengths and learns their talents. And some people believe in angels, and that those angels are our ancestors and those who love us and support us. And whether you believe in something that concrete or not, I still think that knowing your ancestors and believing that there's people beyond that do care about you can give you strength, because somebody's already done this, gone through the challenges that you might be facing, maybe somebody that you're directly related to, that can relate to you. I know that my grandma, she's still here, but she was a social worker, and I just think it's really cool to know that a lot of the challenges I'll face in my career are things that she will have faced too, and to remember that and to know that if she could do it, that I can too. Okay, our fifth and final lesson is notice the strengths of family members that are maybe a little bit different from us. So what I'm referring to is, in the movie, Miguel obviously has a passion for music, and some of his family members don't feel like this is the way for him to go, that he should stay in the business, make shoes, fix shoes, something like that. And I think that it's cool when a family has like a really firm like shared interest or shared values, but it can kind of isolate members of our families who may be different from us or feel differently from us. But there's a lot of strengths that can come from them. So make sure that if there's someone in your family that you feel like can be ostracized or maybe doesn't fit in like to everybody else's talents, everybody else's ideas, that you recognize their strengths and the strength that comes from being different, because ultimately Miguel ended up being such a strength to his family, and music is what helped his grandma Coco, or Mama Coco, and so they needed him. And it could very well be that there's someone in your family who may be different from you, believe differently from you, that you need as well. And so make sure that you're always noticing the strengths of your loved ones rather than thinking of how different or frustrating or whatever you think they might be, because they could be exactly what you need. So that is all. I hope you're all enjoying fall as best as you can. I don't know if at this point if it will have cooled down a little bit later this week. I think it is supposed to cool down, so hopefully. Some of you might love the heat and love the summer. I know my mom said that she is not minding summer's long stay. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will chat again soon. Bye-bye.